If you clicked on this video, you probably have some collard greens with you. Get them out, take off a tiny piece, eat it. Not so good, huh? That, my friend, is the last bite of bland greens you're ever gonna have. Let's get started. For this recipe, you will need collard greens, a sweet or yellow onion, garlic, broth. I used a vegan beef bouillon, granulated garlic, granulated onion, and crushed red pepper, and of course, an iced coffee. Just to make things a little bit easier, I already measured out the crushed red pepper, the granulated onion, and the granulated garlic, and I also pre-poured my 2 cups of broth. I went with the no beef bouillon broth, but you can use, vegetable broth, mushroom broth, no chicken bouillon, no beef bouillon, whatever your floats your boat. If you want, you can even just do water and then season it while it's in the pot. You do you. Okay, so first let's prep these collards. I'm gonna start off by just taking the last kind of inch where these thick stalks are and just slicing that off. With the rest of this, we're just going to give it a quick slice, slicing them into approximately bite-sized slices. Just take these and throw them right into a colander. Give them a quick wash. And set them to the side. Okay, next we're going to finely dice 1 onion. For the garlic, we're going to take 2 to 3 cloves and also give that a fine dice. Okay, so here is our fully prepped mise en place. Now we can get started on the cooking. Add a little oil to the pan and just let that heat up a little bit. Throw in the onion. We're going to let this cook down for 4 to 5 minutes until it's nice and translucent. Now that these are looking a little translucent, we're going to add in our garlic. Give that a quick stir. And let that go for another 30 to 45 seconds. Now we're going to add in our granulated onion, granulated garlic, and crushed red pepper. Give that another stir. Now we're just gonna add in a tiny bit of the beef broth. Kind of lift anything that might be stuck onto the pan. And then we're gonna dump in our greens. We're just gonna cover this for a minute and let the greens wilt a little bit. All right, we're gonna let these continue to release water for a little bit. Just make sure you're on a medium low and recover it. And each time the moisture level gets low, we're just gonna add in a bit more of the broth. So you may end up using all 2 cups of the broth. You may end up only using half of it. Some of it depends on how much water content is in the greens, which depends on, you know, seasonality, how fresh they are, etc. But ultimately, the more you go low and slow with this, the more sweet and soft and broken down the collards are going to be. And the more you kind of hit this at a maybe medium low temperature, the faster that's going to evaporate and the more you might have a bit of a fresh, bitter snap to it, the collards. I like them both ways, you can't really go wrong, so whichever is your preference. I'm getting close to cutting the heat off. I'm gonna let these cook with the lid off for just a few minutes longer, and then I'm gonna cut the heat and they'll be ready to serve. I like my greens to still have a little bit of a vibrancy and a little bit of a snap to them, but if you want, you can keep on going low and slow for well over an hour. You might just have a little bit more soft greens, but they will soak up a lot more of that broth flavor. Okay, I took the greens off the heat, and now we're ready to serve. Just gonna top it with a little bit of nutritional yeast. Very optional. You can see how much flavor is packed in there between the broth and the onion and the garlic. Gorgeous. All right, let's give this a try. It literally melts in your mouth. These greens are basically little umami bombs. They really soak up all of the broth, all of the garlic, the onion, and the spices that you add to it. And every time you bite down on it, it's just an explosion of juice in your mouth. Okay, if I don't turn you off soon, I'm gonna eat all these before my fiance gets home. So we're gonna go to the wrap up. So as always, thank you so much for watching this video. I wanted to say that this is a really good base recipe, and I wanted to keep the ingredients simple so that it's easily recreatable and easy for you to memorize. Because if you made this just like I did, it will blow you away with just how good these greens ended up turning out. But because it is kind of a simple recipe, you can really go all sorts of ways with this. If you wanted to add less of the salty broth and add a little bit of soy sauce, that would go really well with it. If you wanted to add a little bit of liquid smoke or smoked paprika to mimic sort of that ham hock flavor, that would go really well with it. Really just the sky's the limit, but if you stick with this base recipe, it can never steer you wrong. If you have any questions about these, drop them below. I'm happy to answer them, but otherwise I'll see you guys in the next one.